additional camera angles, driver stats, and track information. Available on mobile, tablet, and connected TV. Download the app and find out more at NBCSports.com/live. It's a good look at the logo, the wings, and the wheel here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. 11 of Blake Cook, the 7 of Justin Allgaier are on track now.
Yeah, this is an important weekend for Blake Cook. Yeah, he's right there on that cutoff as far as getting in on points for the Xfinity chase. And a lot of cars are going to finish on the lead lap here. So if you can have a good day and the people you're racing around maybe are off just a little bit, you can separate yourself a little. On the downside of that, if you should have something that happen late, then that can certainly take away that number of points that he has built up there, the little bit of a cushion that he does have.
Yeah, 10 through about 15, you're in a precarious position out there. I mean, they can go either way any week, and as Dale said, at a place where you have so many cars finish on the lead lap, it can be devastating if you have an issue.
You see Ross Chastain, he is just 13 points below the cutoff, as you can see. And looking for a way above that line. I think Indianapolis can be the cure, DJ.
Yeah, nice paint job and sponsor on that car this weekend for this race. Looking good.
2 weeks in a row, a Johnny Davis Motorsports car that's not red. Johnny loved the red, but loved the sponsorship.
Great run by Johnny Davis Motorsports last week.
No, he does too. So there's Ross bringing it back into the garage area. 27 minutes remaining in practice. Chance to try a few things down there. Alex?
Well, happy hour for the Xfinity Series. Well, it hasn't been anything happy for Bubba Wallace right now. Reason being is he went out to try to make his first laps of the final practice and said that the engine was sputtering badly. Came back to the garage area. They changed the carburetor. They went up underneath the trunk lid as well. They started looking at the fuel lines. They put a new carburetor on and A-OK'd the back of the race car. They closed it up, buttoned her up, put her on the racetrack, and no, still sputtering badly down the straightaway. He's back in. They're just now changing spark plugs. So tough going right now for happy hour. Not a complete lap on the track at all for Bubba Wallace.
And we talked so much about how everything has to be right here. Horsepower, you would know, DJ, is certainly one of those things.
It's king here. There's no doubt about that. But, yeah, that's just what we talk about, the track changing, and you go out there and you say, oh, my gosh, what happened to my race car? Well, this is another side of it. All they did was sit in there for about an hour and a half and work on some things, and then all of a sudden you've got a problem.
Yeah, but I'm going to go back to an antiquated thing here, something really old. So don't laugh at me too hard when you say it. But we heard Joey Logano earlier in the first practice say, setting out there on pit road, how hot he got in the car and how hot the car just kept building up heat. The fuel's in the back of these cars. You've got a fuel line that runs through the car. It runs into the firewall. It runs out the firewall into the carburetor. These are carbureted cars. The fuel can get hot enough and the lines can get hot enough that these things can almost vapor lock. And vapor lock is an old term, an antiquated term, where the fuel will not flow. The colder the fuel is, the better these things will run. And as these cars get hot and everything else gets hot, you don't know if that's not an issue. That's why they go to the fuel cell to check the fuel cell, the pickup. They check all the lines to make sure there's nothing that is impeding that flow of fuel to the car.
Did you notice I was the only one that didn't have that look about what the heck is he talking about? Yeah, they don't know what vapor lock.
I was watching Ty Dillon get a whiff of a draft off the end of Daniel Suarez there. This may be trying to be a mock lap here, Marty.
I feel like I'm about to vapor lock down in the garage. It's only about 104, guys. Actually, the mock run, good pickup on that day, was the time before for Ty Dillon. Actually, Nick Harrison planned to leave him out for a couple of race runs, but that race run the first time went so well, he said, hey, let's mock it up right now. He put tires on. He jumped the second fastest on the speed chart. Right now, they're going to make a long run in race trim, but fairly happy with this number 2 car. And they've taken a different direction, really, our number 3 car. They've taken a different direction based on the number 2 car. They bought a brand new car, his brother Austin Dillon did, to Kentucky a couple of weeks ago. And they built this car to kind of be just like it, body-wise, and they feel like they've really made some gains. And this is the game down here in the garage area. You got to catch Joe Gibbs Racing. They feel like at RCR, they've caught them a little bit in the last couple of weeks, and they're very excited for this brand new car for Ty Dillon this weekend.
It's been fast. He's got 3 teammates running as well. Here's what Ty did in 2014. No small feat, KP.
No small feat at all. I mean, on the last restart, beats Kyle Busch. Look at Austin just cheering, just running. This is a family victory, but I mean, it was no small feat that day to beat Kyle Busch at this race and beat him on a restart. You can add So that makes sense. How many times do we talk about first-time winners like Daniel Suarez and Ty Dillon beating Kyle Busch on a restart, passing him and winning the race, and it makes it a bigger victory?
Got a $100,000 bonus, too. Dash for Cash race then. Ty, the tourist this week. Ty and wife Haley drove back from New Hampshire Motor Speedway and stopped at Niagara Falls. So did the tourist thing as well.
Yeah, they talked about, Marty talked about there, about the two-car being able to help. That's good that they have that other team that Austin drives that most of the time, but Menard driving it this week, Paul Menard driving it this weekend, who has won a cup race here. But that gets a lot of information to them, things that they can try to help move this team and this organization further along with their other drivers. So it's really an outstanding process that they have that really helps them, and they are closing that gap some.
Elliott Sadler showing us what a race pass could look like tomorrow.
And that was a good shot because we saw at that one angle Brendan Gaughan throw his hand up to concede the position. And Elliott pulls out on him and goes around him. And they all talked about it in the first practice. This is a momentum racetrack. If you go into turn one side by side, you kill both cars' momentum if you make it through there sometimes, especially in practice. But at the same time, that's how you race. You let a guy go, then get back to the gas and go as hard as you can to try to keep up with him at that point in time. You don't want to change positions in the corners if you can help it when you're racing there.
You can see it across the top of the screen. Gaughan still 12th fastest in this practice session after he has taken 4 laps. Final practice continuing here from Indy.